Hi, it's Ra, Rishi Kavi Ragudas from Star Presence Astrology, here to give the astrological forecast for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Well, it's generally a harmonious day with a little bit of intensity as an undertone. The intensity, of course, comes from the fact that Pluto, the lord of death and rebirth, deep, dark, very serious issues, often crisis before the resolution, went direct yesterday from having been retrograde for several months. So it's now direct at 1 degree of Aquarius in a Pluto station, as it's called. Whenever a planet turns from retrograde to direct or back, vice versa, it's called a station, is very intense. So this is the definition of intensity. So watch out for nasty headlines in the news and take it easy yourself, even under such harmonious energy as today. The sun today is at 21, moving to 22 degrees of love, beauty, and social justice-oriented air sign Libra, and the moon during the pre-dawn hours moves into the grand and glorious fire sign of Leo, always in the gold for Leo. I guess this is kind of a tan or orangish, and it's a tiger suit rather than a lion suit, but you get the point. The moon moves into Leo at 3:47 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 6:47 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 11:47 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Whenever the moon is in Leo, it is a very expressive and generally buoyant kind of energy. So that kind of makes up for some of this deep, dark intensity of the Pluto station. And all the energy is up front today because early in the day is when the moon ticks off contacts with a lot of these different planets. So we may sleep through it here on the west coast of the USA, but you may get it elsewhere. Moon makes a harmonious flowing trine from 0 degrees of Leo to Neptune, the planet of dreams and visions, at 4:08 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 12:08 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. That is nice for your dreams and visions in the morning. Just after that, an hour afterwards, the moon still at 0 degrees of Leo makes a harmonious 60-degree sextile to Venus, the planet of love and affection, which has just now moved to 0 degrees of Libra, its home sign, making this doubly sweet. 5:10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 8:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 1:10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Just a few minutes after that, the moon still at 0 degrees of Leo makes another harmonious 60-degree sextile to Uranus, the planet of sudden change and often chaos, at 0 degrees of Gemini, but this is harmonious and could be like that great idea that you wake up with. 5:21 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 1:21 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The only possible bummer is that the moon, now at 1 degree of Leo, makes an opposition shortly thereafter to Pluto, the lord of death and rebirth, which, as we've said, has just turned direct, and so it's kind of an intense opposition. He's at 1 degree of Aquarius, 6:14 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 9:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 2:14 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Be careful not to get into power plays with people right away when you wake up. That's not nice. Finally, the Venus, the planet of love and affection, which, as we said, has just moved into its home sign of Libra, makes a harmonious flowing trine to Uranus in the morning and one to Pluto as well. Venus trine Uranus is anything can happen for the best. Eyes across a crowded room in terms of your social life and money situations today. So be on the lookout for opportunities in both money and your social life. 7:10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 10:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 3:10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And Venus makes also a harmonious trine to Pluto. 1 degree of Leo to Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, just turned direct. That's kind of sexual and intensity that we kind of like here. That's very passionate energy. But that occurs later in the day. It's the only aspect that is later in the day. 4:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:45 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So a lot of energy in the morning and maybe some passion at night. So not such a bad day after all. I'm Ra, Rishi Kavi Ragudas from Star Presence Astrology. Now, if you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can book it on my website, starpresence.net. Remember, from the very moment that you're born, you've got star presence. Enjoy this day, and it looks to be very enjoyable, no matter what.